When I was a kid, I wanted to make games. Not just play them, I wanted to make them. But the more I learned about how games were actually made, the scarier it became. As a kid, games felt like magic. You press start and suddenly someone had built an entire world for you. Characters for you, rules for you, music for you. And of course, I naturally thought, yeah, I want to do that. Then the more I looked into it, the more anxiety I felt. Programming, arts, engines, teams of sometimes hundreds of people. And that dream didn't feel exciting anymore. It felt impossible. And so I quietly let it go. But even if I never became a game developer, I never stopped loving games. The weird ones, the risky ones, the games that existed clearly because someone cared enough to make them. Which is why, years later, I've started paying attention to games that are being made right here in bloody Australia. Growing up, I didn't think that great games came from Australia. They came from Japan or America or somewhere else. See, Australia can feel disconnected from the rest of the world sometimes, especially the world of gaming. Or at least, that's what I thought. Then I found out Untitled Goose Game was made here in Australia. A silly little game where you play as a goose menace, destroying the world around you as every goose does. And I started noticing patterns. Have you ever heard of Team Cherry? No? Yes? Maybe? Well, have you ever heard of Hollow Knight or Silk Song? You probably have, yep. They were Aussies. And because you notice one, you notice a lot more. Unpacking, Dinkum, Moving Out, Golf Story, Death Squared, Screen Sheet, Arco, Frog Detective, Cult of the Lamb, Fruit Ninja, man. Fruit Ninja. All made here in Australia. Seeing these games exist does something powerful. It makes the idea of being able to make games seem possible. It reminds you that games don't just come from billion-dollar companies, they come from people who are probably just as overwhelmed as I was. But unlike me, they decided to take the risk anyway. Alongside this revelation I've tried staying aware of upcoming Australian titles. Big Walk and Pro Jank Footy are two titles I'm very excited for, but that's just the surface. There are so many Australian games I don't know about. I'll do my due diligence, but I can only do so much. So if there's any Australian titles you know, please let me know in the comments. Also, please consider supporting Australian games. Majority of these titles are indie games, which means most of the time they cost $50 or less. Go onto the Steam store page and sort by Australian title. Even Nintendo, for God's sake, have a page dedicated to Australian and New Zealand game developers. If you've got the spare change, add them to your wish list, add them to your basket, and support these developers. Unlike me, they took a risk for you as a player to play great games and get inspired. I never became a game developer, but seeing other people chase that dream, especially right here at home, that's inspiring in a way I didn't expect, and something I wish I could have found when I was younger. There's no time like the present, and it just makes creativity feel possible again. Not easy, but possible, especially in this day and age of AI we live in. It's becoming a challenge to see if a human even made a piece of digital art. Now more than ever, the soul of a piece of media sometimes matters more than the result of it. AI should assist creativity, not replace it. Now look, I've rambled on long enough. Please keep in mind a couple of things. Supporting Australian games isn't about a sense of patriotism, it's about a sense of inspiration. It gives people hope that they too can reach for their dreams and make something that seems impossible. It's about backing people who chose passion over safety. I wish I knew that as a kid, but it's never too late. Support Australian games. I'll see you next time. I'm bloody sweaty, mate.